Let us solve the exercise number 7 in the part B of Python lab. In this exercise, we are supposed to create a table called as electricity bill that contains the following details, such as the tariff code, customer name, meter number, previous reading, and the current reading. We are supposed to use the MySQL to store this data in the table of MySQL. After that, we are supposed to do three things. The first one is to accept the employee details and store them in the database. This is the customer detail. And the next one is this should have been the customer details. Next one is to update the customer details by the meter number. And the last one is to calculate the bill of a particular customer using the criteria that are specified below. So let's go ahead and let's create the table first. I assume that the XAMPP is installed in your system. Start the Apache as well as the MySQL and click on the admin of MySQL. This is what you're going to get. Let's go to this one. Let's create a new database. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to create click new here, and when you click new here, it's going to show you the database, and I'm going to say electricity db. Okay, if it is already there, I don't know whether it's already there or not. If it is already there, you make it as electricity db1, db2, db3, and so on, but remember to use the same name in your code. So let me click on the create to create the database. Once the database is created, let us create the table. And the table that they have specified is they have used the underscore, but I will use the same thing, electricity underscore bill. So you do that thing. And how many fields are there? This is one field, 2, 3, 4, 5. So totally 5 fields are there. So I'm going to say with the 5 fields. Let me click on create. Now let's try to fill the details. The first field happens to be the tariff code. Now the tariff code, if you look at here, if you look at the criteria here, tariff code is a 3-letter word. So let me go here and I'm going to say tariff code, and I'm going to make it as varchar, and I will make it as varchar 5. Okay, so you can make it as varchar 3 also. And let's go back to the next part. The next one is the customer name. Control C to copy it, and you are supposed to type it during the examination. So let's go ahead and you can make it as varchar. I will use the text as the my option. You can make it as varchar. It's not going to make a difference as of now, because we are not doing the database programming here. So we are not studying database. I'm going to use the meter number again. I think that underscore is not there, so I will just make it as meter underscore number. And let's go to the next part, previous reading. And let me save the next part, and the current reading. So let's go ahead and let's do the thing over here, current reading. Now, so we have the tariff code, which is 5 character I've taken. The customer name, you can take varchar and maybe 50 characters. And next we have the meter number, and meter number, I assume that it is a unique number. You can take it as varchar also, because they start with the numerical value. But I will assume that it is a number, because I want to reduce the burden of typing too many things. Then we have the previous reading. Assume that this is also integer. Current reading, which is also integer. Now, only thing I'm going to do is I will take this meter reading as the primary key, and I'm going to make this one as the primary. So under the indexes, let me click on go. Don't read anything, just click on go. So under this indexes, not this null, under this indexes, so make this one as the primary key. If everything is proper, click on you can look at the SQL here. This is what it's going to create, but I'm going to just save it. So let's go ahead and let's save the database. So I mean the table. So the table is created, table with the name electricity bill is created. Now this is what you are supposed to do it in the MySQL. Let's go back to our code. I'm going to use the VS Code. click on the explore here. Let us go to the let me first go to the particular folder. I'm going to click on the file and go to the my folder. So my folder happens to be the proper folder where I'm supposed to save the file. And if you have not installed the proper modules of MySQL, it is better you install them. So go to the command, just to search for the CMD, open the CMD, and in the command prompt, type this one, pip install MySQL connector, and the second one is pip install MySQL connector. Now, if you're doing these things in the lab, you don't have to type all these things because it is already installed and it is already tried tested because both the BSc and BCA students have been using this thing for a long time. So these things are obviously it is available. You don't have to bother about it. On your machine, if it is not there for the first time, you just click on pip install MySQL connector and pip install MySQL connector dash MySQL dash connector dash Python. Now this is it will take some time. Definitely you need to have internet connection for it to install it. Let's go to the file now, and this is B7. So let me click on new file, and I'm going to say this is b7.py and press enter. Let me click the remove the first part. And because I'm supposed to use the MySQL, so I'm going to use the import statement, and I'm going to say import MySQL dot connector. So this is required for me to connect to the database. Let's make the connection with the database. So we will connect to the database. I'm going to use the variable conn, and I'm going to use MySQL dot connector dot connect. And you can write it in one straight line, but I'm going to write it in multiple lines. So it is up to you. This is my way of writing it. If you don't like it, just use a single line and put comma separated values. First one is this is hosted in the local host. So you can notice that it is running on the local machine. So local host. If it is running on your network machine, write the appropriate network machine name or the IP address. The user that we are going to use is the root, which is the default user, and there is no password for this default user unless and otherwise you have set to something, and which is not advisable again. You are supposed to type keep the password as blank. Every key value has to be separated by a comma. So let's go ahead with the next part. The next very important thing that we are supposed to use here is the database name that we are supposed to use it. So the database that I have typed in my case is the electricity DB. If you typed it as electricity DB 1, 2, 3, 4 or any other things, just use that same name. The next one, this is very important, use the buffered equal to true. So this is required, otherwise you may not be able to update anything into the database. So buffered is equal to true, and what is this? The electricity DB is the name of the database. Let us create a cursor out of this one. So I'm going to say cursor is equal to connection dot the cursor. So I got the cursor. I'm going to write the functions first. Let's look at these functions. The first one, we are supposed to add the details of the employees. So I'm going to create a function that will help me to add something into the database. So I will go ahead with the thing over here. So what is this? Yeah. So I'm going to start with the def, and I'm going to say add the customer details. Or, okay. So let me take the meter number. I will take the meter number. Meter number is integer of, because I have taken the meter number as an integer. So let me take the meter number is integer of input, and I'm going to say enter meter number. So this is because it's a primary key. Once I get this one, I'm going to just run the query to just verify whether that meter number already exists. So let me go ahead with the query. And what is the query? I'm going to say select okay, star from the name of the table. So what is the name of the table? Suppose if you don't know what is the query that you are supposed to use it, you can just click on there are different queries which are available here. If you just click on the SQL, it's going to show you select star from the electricity.db where the condition. So it's going to give you this one. Just copy this one and then paste it over here. So if you find it too difficult to write the query, but I'm going to use remove this accent sign. This is not the single quote. It is accent sign that it is using. The accent is near the escape key. You get one accent key. You just search and look at your keyboard and you'll be able to find that thing. Now, what is the condition that I want to check? The condition that I want to check is, let me go to the structure of this database. I want to check whether meter underscore number is there in that table. So when the user is entering the meter number, I want to check whether that meter number already exists. That means, in other words, I want to check whether the customer record already exists in the database. If it is already there in the database, there is no point in asking for any additional thing because it's already there. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the cursor and I'm going to say execute, and I have the query with me. What was the query? Query with me, and I will use the parameter, and the parameter that I'm going to use is the meter number. Okay, I run the query and I check if the what is that yeah, the number of rows which are there. So I'll go to the cursor and I'm going to ask how many rows are there. So because it's a primary key, definitely if there is any row, it will be 1. If it is not there, the number of rows that is fetched from the database, if the meter number is not there, this select will return 0 rows from the customer because the meter number is not there. Suppose if the meter number is there, naturally count of row count will be 1 because it will return 1 record. If it is returning 1 record to me, that means immediately I know that this thing is already there in the database. So I'm going to just say customer details already exist. Already exist. Yeah, let me use /n here, /n here, and /n here, just to make the things beautiful. Otherwise, let's go ahead with the remaining part. So I have taken the meter number. Let me take the customer name. I'm going to ask what is the name of the customer. CNAME is equal to input a customer name. Done. And let's take the tariff code. I'm going to take it as a TC for the tariff code. And if you look at the tariff code, what I have taken here, where is it? Where is the first thing? Tariff code is the varchar. So customer is also varchar. So I'm not going to convert it into integer. Okay, so I'm going to just use input, and I'm going to say tariff code. Okay, done. Now, generally, you don't, you just take the previous meter reading when the customer is created, but the current meter reading is generally not taken, but I will read both of them. So I'm going to say previous reading, meter reading is, it has to be integer. The reason why it has to be integer is, you know very well, the previous meter reading is, where is it gone? Integer. The current meter reading is also integer. But remember, generally, when the customer is created, the first meter reading is only taken. The other meter reading is taken during the 1 month. After 1 month, the meter reading gets updated. But I will take both of them. I'm going to just say previous reading, that is meter reading, and done. Let me do the same thing. I'm going to use Control C and Control V. So I've copy pasted it, and so I can reduce some typing. Let's take the current Current meter reading is, I will just say current reading. Now I have to insert it into the database. So I'm going to write the query. So let me write the query. Query is insert into the table name. So what is the name of the table? Name of the table is electricity bill, electricity underscore bill, electricity underscore bill. Insert into electricity, what is the thing? Electricity bill. And I will not use the field names. I'm going to just use the values, where the values will be. Remember, when you are supplying the values, supply it in the same order. First one is the tariff code, next one is the customer name, meter reading, and this one. If you are supplying it, or if you are sending it in the different order, then because you already know about the databases, if you're giving it in the different order, then write first like meter number first, and so on. If you are giving it in the same order, then just directly do it. So let me first look at what comes first. So in the database, tariff code comes first. So TC will come first. Okay, TC will come first. So what is the TC? TC is the varchar, and you know very well varchar has to be placed in a single quote. And the next part is customer name. What is this customer name? Customer name happens to be again a string. Done. Then what else you have? Then all of them are integers. So three integers will come. After this, the first integer, second integer, and the third integer. So done with the query. Let us run this query and let us find out what's going to happen. So let's cursor dot execute, and there is this query, and I'm going to supply all the values. The first one happens to be the TC, that is tariff code. Second one is the customer name. Third one is, let's see, what was that? Third one. So the third number is the meter number. Meter number is a M number. I think I've taken it as a M number. I've read it first. So I've read it here itself. Meter number, I've read it here. Then you have the, what are the things which are there? We have the previous and you have the current. Done. We have executed this query, and I'm going to say connection.commit because I want the data to be stored permanently in the database. And I'm going to print and say that /n, so let me can do the control Z, control /n, uh, details saved. I will reduce typing details saved. Okay, done. This is for adding the customer. Done. Let's look at the next part. Next part is, they said update the customer details. Now generally when I am not sure what they mean, I assume that see, every month the new customer, the reading will come. The electricity person will come to your house and they will take the reading. They will not change your name, but definitely they will change the previous meter reading and current meter reading. So I assume that only these two things are getting changed, but I'm not sure. Then nobody can find faults with you if you change it, because exclusively they have not mentioned that something has to be changed. So as far as the logic of this program, I assume that only those two things. In particular, I assume that only the current reading will change. And the previous reading, because see, whatever, if I take the meter reading today, last month's meter reading will be the previous meter reading, and today's meter reading will be the current meter reading. Next month, today's meter reading will be the previous meter reading, and the last the whatever next month reading will come, new reading will come, that will be the current. So these two things are only changing. This is the logic, I assume, but if they have other, let's look at that thing. So let's first of all, let's write the function here. So what is the name of the function? I have already written update, because we are supposed to update the query. So let me start with the what is that meter number. So everything starts with the meter number. I think I already have it here. I will not try this one. So I think I will go up to here. Okay, this story is common. So I will copy paste and tell you. See, you ask the meter reading. You check whether that meter reading exists. If it is there, in this case, you are going to update it. If it is not there, let me type pass here. If it is pass here and press enter, and then I will go to the next and I'm going to say, if it is not there, I'm going to print and I'm going to say details not found. Okay, this is slightly different from the previous one. In the previous one, we are adding a new record. Now we are not adding a new record. So what the previous time, if the record is there, we say it is already there, don't add a new one. In this case, it should be there because we are trying to update the record. If it is not there, if the row count is not greater than 0, when we run the select statement, what is select? Select from the electricity bill where the meter number is equal to whatever the meter number is given here. If this meter number, if this is not there, then there is no point in updating, is it not? If it is not there, we are going to say details not found. Let me use the /n here so that it will look beautiful. Okay, hope you get the logic here. That if the meter number is not there, how can you update it? You can add the new record, but if the meter number is not there, you can't update the record. So let's assume that the meter number is there, and let's go with the story now. What is the story? Story is we are going to get the record or row or anything you can say. Okay, and we will use the cursor. And there is going to be only one record, not many record. Why? The reason is I already told you that meter number was made as the primary key. You notice over here, meter number is the primary key. So this is primary key. So naturally, you will be able to fetch only one record with that meter number. Okay, and I'm going to read that meter number. So if the record whatever you have got, okay. So and then I'm going to say previous reading is I'll get the information from the user in of input. I think I have already typed here. I will not waste your time. So I get these two things. I will ask the user, give me the previous reading and the current reading. So you got two readings here. There is one in the tab problem was there. Okay, so you got the previous reading and the current reading. That is been taken care. Okay, and then we will run the query. That's all. So see, the idea is you ask them what is the meter number. Give me the meter number. They say, okay, if the meter exists, if the meter exists, then you fetch the record. And then you ask, okay, give me the previous reading and the current reading, and then you update it. That's it. So how do you update the record? So you have studied about this one. Update. Okay. Name of the database is electricity bill. Name of this table is electricity bill. Okay. Set. Okay, and you need the field name. The field name must be proper. I'm going to just select it, Control C to copy it, and Control V to paste it so that I won't make the mistake. So this is equal to the parameter, comma, this is the previous reading. The next one happens to be, what is the next? Okay. Next one happens to be the current reading. Control C and Control V here, and that is equal to %D. Done. So where is the query in double quotes? Okay, done. So this query is done. Let's execute the query, as simple as that. So I'm going to go to the cursor and I'm going to say execute and the query with the values. What are the values? One is the previous and the next one is the current. Done with the previous and the current. And what else you can do? You can go to the connection and then say commit whatever changes were made. Otherwise, it will not do updates. And then let's give a message to the user saying that print /n and say details updated. Details updated. Okay, done. /n. So this is regarding the second query. I mean, second task that was given to you. Let's look at the third task. Third task is to calculate the customer bill. So let's go ahead and let's start calculating the customer bill. So how do you do the customer bill? So you can write any name for your what is that function. I will use def show bill. Okay, I think this is a good word. Show bill. Done. First of all, let's the same story. I will not waste my time, and I will go up to here. Okay, Control C and press enter and Control V. If the customer row is more than one, I think can I bring it here? Okay, it is in the line now. And the why I'm a bit struggling is I'm getting it in the same line there. Otherwise, you know very well what's going to happen. And let's say else. Else the story is the same. Okay, details are not found. Okay, this is the else story. If the record count is not greater than 1, then you know what is going to happen. Now let us check for the things there. Okay, I think I don't need. Do I need everything? Let us look at the details. The question is, do I need everything? That is the question. Okay, calculate the customer. Okay, bill of a particular customer. Okay, let's go. I've got everything. So let it be there. Let's get everything. So you have fetched the record. Let's get the customer. Okay, customer, or let's say record. That will be the easiest one. Record cursor dot fetch one. Done. You can again check if the cursor, if the record is none, you can do say that customer details are not found and so on. I will not do that story here. Let's get everything. What are the things that we can get from the table is meter number, which is already known to me. Then the customer name. Then what customer name? What else was there? First one is tariff code. See, tariff code, customer name, meter number, previous, current. Everything I am getting it from that record. Okay, so all of them I get it from that record. Let me just make it inline. So all these things I'm getting. What are the things I'm getting from the record that is fetched? I get the what is this? This part, the tariff code, the customer name and meter number, and all these things I got. Okay, done. Let's look at what is that we are supposed to do. They have given us the story. If the tariff code is LT1, then you have to calculate the unit consumed. And if the unit consumed is in the range, you have to specify different rates. So let's go ahead and let's do that thing. So let's start with the tariff code. So I'm going to start with if tariff code happens to be, if the tariff code happens to be, what is the mentioned there? Okay, what was that mentioned there? If the tariff code happens to be LT1, so let's do with the LT1, LT1. Okay, if that is the case, we are supposed to do something. First of all, let's get this part. That is the unit consumed. How can I get unit consumed? So let's get this unit consumed unit consumed is current minus previous. Whatever is the today's electricity bill from this month electricity bill and subtract the previous month's electricity bill, you get the current how many units you have consumed. That's as simple as that. So let's start with the story here. Let's go here and let's start. So if it is what is mentioned here, if the tariff code is LT1 and if the unit consumed is less than 30, less than or equal to 30, so unit consumed you checked here. So if unit consumed is less than or equal to 30, then what is the story? Then the story happens to be rate is 2%. So rate equal to 2.0. Okay, let's go here. Okay, rate is 2.0. Let me sorry. So else if let's start with the this part will be there as is. I'm going to just copy this part to reduce the typing. If the unit consumed is less than or equal to 100, the rate is 3.5. So less than or equal to 100, the rate is 3.5. One more else if, so control C, and I'm going to just press enter here and control V and see to it that they are aligned properly. So unit consumed is what is the next jump is 200 then 4.5. So this is 200 4.5. What else you have? Otherwise it is 5. Okay. Else rate is 5. Done. This is not there. Now let's go to the second option that they have given. Else if the rate is this one, then you are supposed to do that the other part. Let's go ahead and let's do that. L if I'm going to, because you know I'm lazy, so I'm going to just copy this whole story, control C and control V, and this is else if the unit is the tariff code is LT2, then it will start with first start with what is it 3.5. First start with the 3.5. So done. Next you go to 5 and 6. You go to 5, 5.0 and 6.0. Okay. Last one happens to be 7.5. Yes, 7.5. Now we see the everything is 0.00, so I just make the things so that this pi will be, otherwise say that I am integer, rest of them are all real. So I have just made 0 to that. 5.0 is same as 5. Okay, it is written 5. Okay, so I made everything from done. With this I got the rate. Okay, let's come back to the our story now. What is our story? Let us come back here. Is this the point? No, still one more point. Okay, from here. So this is the line. So after this if statement, so you must be careful. After this if statement, you are supposed to show the stories. What are the stories that you can show? Okay. Where is the else part gone? Okay, let me just remove this. So else part. Okay. For this if you see that line, there is this else. Okay, so I'm going to do inside this if. So I have to be inside this if. So inside this if. Okay, so inside this if. So you see this if that, I don't know whether you can see it in the on the video, but it is inside this. If this is if the meter number itself is not there, you say details not found. Now the details is found, so let's print all the details. What are the things that you can think of printing? Okay, first of all, let's calculate the total amount. What is the total? The total is yes, how many units consumed? So how many units are consumed into whatever rate you are calculating? Unit consumed into rate, isn't it? If you are consumed 100 units, and if every unit is if the rate is 10, then 100 into 10. This is what you are going to do. Then you print the details. What are the details you can print? I will use the F here. So what are the things? I think can I use? I think I'll use F. I started with that. So meter number, and M number, meter number slash N, customer name, C name slash N. What is the tariff code? Tariff code TC. I think it will. You can write everything in one line, but if I start, it will go beyond the screen. So I will press enter and do the next part. Okay, let me start with the slash n here itself. Okay, then let me start here. I will say what I've done is the reason why I've done that is it will go beyond the screen. Not that it is wrong. It will go beyond the screen. That is why I'm typing it in the next print. So the next part, what is the next part? Is the previous reading. Okay, previous slash n, current reading. What is this? Current CUR, okay, slash n, units consumed. Okay, what is a unit consumed? Is a unit consumed. I'm going to type it in one line. Okay, sorry, this there are too many printf statement, but I will print everything. Okay, rate is the rate, then slash n, and what else you have? I'm going to use the dash 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 here. Okay, so it is going to come like beautifully. And then what else you have? Uh, total amount, and total, done. And so everything is printed. So for the customer, full details are printed. So this is the three functions that we have done. Now let's write the main story. Let's come back to the first line here. So we will start outside this all the definitions. We will go and we will write from the starting line. Let us start with the while loop. So while true. Let's start with the while true. Let's use a menu. So I'm going to use the menu slash n. First, what is the first thing? Add customer. Okay. One point. So this is one. Add customer. First choice is add customer slash n. Second choice is update bill slash n. Third choice print bill, okay, slash n. Fourth choice exit, definitely, slash n dash 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 dash. Okay, let's go ahead and let's say what is your choice, and I'm going to use the input, and I'm going to say enter your choice. Okay, let's not write the whole thing. Your choice. This is fast. Okay, short and sweet will be that. Okay, if choice happens to be 1, then you're going to call the add method. Where is this add method? You have already written here add. Okay, so you're going to call that add. If choice happens to be 2, you're going to call update. Okay, where is this update? You have already written here. Where is this update? If choice happens to be 3, you're going to say show bill. Again, this is also you have written. 3 functions you have written show bill. Done. If one more thing has to be there now. If what is it? The choice happens to be 4. We'll first print and say print /n exiting just as /n, and we are going to break the while loop. So this break is for this while loop. Okay. Else print and say wrong choice. Use /n /n. Hope I have not done any mistake while typing or other thing. So let's save it and let me give it a try. See if there is error. Definitely there will be some or other error in the execution. So I don't assume that the execution will be smooth here. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Enter meter number 1, customer name. I will not write my name because last time I wrote my name and it gave me an error. Okay. Tariff code, you can't write anything of your choice because the tariff code is LT1 and LT2. Don't in the examination, don't try something different here. Okay, previous reading is 10, current reading is 20. Okay, details saved. Let me print the bill. See whether I'm getting the meter number 1. Okay, so meter number 1, customer number 1, Ravi, and. Okay, rate is that, total amount is this one. See, if you get this one is coming like this, then you know very well you have added in the print. Where is that print story is gone? In the print, where is the print? So if you don't put the space here, sometime you notice that there is no space here, and because you have not put the space in where else? I think in the unit consumed, I have put a space here. Control save. This will not highlight now, but it will highlight in the next one. Let me update. Let's go to the update story. Meter number 1. Previous meter reading was 20. Current meter reading is 50. Okay, 30 units difference. Okay, you can try the other one also, but I am just showing you the print the meter reading with the meter number 1, and the rate is still this one. If you go to the database, and in the database you have an option for browse here. If you click on this browse, naturally the one record that you have added will be there. Okay, my personal advice is just to put one record. If it is working, just to show that thing, add the next record and show it. Don't add 5 records. See, in your database they used to say add 5 records. There is nowhere they have mentioned add 5 records. So I have seen some students, they're adding 5 records, and it is not mentioned here. Okay, that is for the database. You add 5 records. Don't waste your time in doing that kind of thing. Okay, with that, let us go with the exit the story. This is exiting. Now, just for the people who love this IDLA, again, I have nothing against this IDLA. You can definitely use IDLA. Open this thing and assume that you have typed everything, Control A, Control C, and I'm going to paste it. Assume that you've taken pain in writing this one, and you have saved this one at the proper location. That's very, very important. Because you will create too much of a problem to the examiners if you start saving it in anywhere and everywhere. Okay, b7.py, there is no need to type py. Okay, and you run the module and you get this one. Enter the choice. So the choice number 1, add meter number is 2. Again, meter number is a primary key, so be careful with that meter number. Customer name is Reka. Okay, tariff code is LT2. So, LT2, it must be in capital, remember. The story is in capital, LT2 is in capital. Okay, the tariff code is added. Previous meter reading is 10. Current meter reading is 50. Let's say 200. It's a very high number. Okay, details are saved. Let me print it. I will not update the Reka story. Let me print the story. Meter number is 2, and I must get a very high number here because the rate is 6%. Okay, so that's all in this exercise. We will meet again in the other exercise. Thank you for your interest. We will meet again.